Hey guys, I'm at the Savannah Wildlife Refuge at the Laurel Hill Drive. I did mention in the save video that I wanted to pick up a gimbal to stabilize my shots and just make the video experience better for you and for me recording it, as I really do enjoy these. And I did just that. I picked up a gimbal. I was able to find the DJI Osmo 7P for mobile on sale on Amazon. So this is recording with my phone through the Apple recording app, and it is also has the tracking gauge. So as I move the gimbal, it's going to do its best to keep me in frame. I've got the truck here behind me. I also brought my camera. We're going to drive through and see what kind of photos we get. All right, we're back in the truck. We're getting ready to go through the drive. I've got the gimbal set on the passenger seat on its tripod extension to check out its stability and its tracking. Tracking is still enabled. Seems to be working great. Unfortunately, I won't be able to leave the phone here while I'm driving. It's just not going to stay steady because it's not connected to anything. I've got my camera with me. This is my Canon R6 Mark III, and I'm currently running a 600 millimeter prime lens f11 to see what kind of wildlife photography we can get while we're out here. I will edit the photos and add them to this video. A couple of quick things I wanted to mention about audio. I'm currently running in the Apple camera app on my iPhone, mainly because of the audio. As I said, this is an off-brand mic and it plugs directly into the phone to give the mic audio. DJI, any of their microphones will link to this, and the tracking receiver will also become the mic receiver. And then you can, once you have that audio track linked, you can go into the DJI app, which, as I understand, gives you much more creative control over the videos and the features of this gimbal. But for now, we are using Apple phone app. And one of the questions that I had heard was, can it track in Apple phone app? And yes, it can. As I move, it is tracking. The Savannah Wildlife Refuge Drive is one of my favorite places to come. It's close to home. It's a 4-mile drive, and you do see quite a bit of wildlife, birds, alligators, kind of depending on the time of the year. And we are in luck because on occasion you can see a big cat out here. Yep, right there. A big cat in its natural habitat. This wildlife refuge is wetlands. You can see it's got quite a bit of water. And as I understand it, they took old rice plantations and used the levees and the water control systems to control this year round and make it a refuge. It was recently closed for a few years while they redid everything. It is breezy today, and again, I hope you can hear me okay. I hope the wind isn't drowning out the mic. Here we have some birds. I think these are grackles. I did get a few shots. I'm going to try to take a few more before I pull away. The zoom, the joystick for the gimbal is quite sensitive. There was just a bird of prey flying around, but I missed it. By the time I grabbed my camera and looked back up, it was gone. I didn't see where it went. However, If you look right there, that's a photo blind that they built inside the refuge. There was an old one there that had fallen down, and when they closed to refurbish everything, they rebuilt that. I haven't been to it since they rebuilt it, so I'm going to park and we're going to walk up to it, and I'll see if I can't find that bird again. This is the old cistern trail. This is part of the refuge. But the only thing remaining of an old plantation is here is the cistern. And this is also where they have the photo blind. So let's walk and take a look. Here's the old cistern remaining. But we are going to carry on down the trail. There's a bird right over there. Ducks. I might see if I can get some pictures. Here's the view from the photo blind. The ducks are over there, but they're hiding behind the brush or bushes whenever I get the camera out. But yeah, this is the view. Absolutely beautiful. This is the inside of the photo blind. Just a corrugated metal roof, but all the windows have that like camouflage netting to kind of pull down. I'm here at a weird time today. It's like mid-afternoon. The best time in my limited experience to really get some great bird photos out here is early morning or dusk. So right now it's just kind of not much going on. Head on back to the truck. All right, this is why everybody comes out here in the warm weather to see the alligators sunbathing. So there's one right there, center screen. A lot of oaks out here with Spanish moss that just make these awesome shaded tunnel roads. This is the back river of the refuge. So that bridge right there is what kind of separates it from the other side, which is refuge controlled water. This is very low, looks like mostly mud. I don't see anything over here, but I do see, if you look right there, quite a large gathering of birds. Trying to zoom in for you here in that tree. So I'm going to hang out here and take a few photos. I'm really testing the limits of this gimbal because I've got it zoomed in as far as I can get it zoomed in. I showed you the tree of buzzards, took some photos, and then the buzzards took flight, and I got some photos of that as well. And I was wondering why that one buzzard at the top of the tree looks different from the rest. That is a bald eagle. This is only, I think, the second time in my life I've seen one in person, or in real life, I guess. The first time it was literally only a stone's throw away from me, and I lifted my camera as slowly as I could to get a picture of it, but I spooked it and it flew off. And I followed it back to its nest and took pictures of its nest, but I never saw it again. This one, I did get some pictures of up in the tree, and again, once I edit them, I'll post them in this video. But it's just, I don't know if it's because it's our national bird, and I know we've got a lot of stuff going on in our nation right now, but it's always awe-inspiring to me seeing one of these majestic birds. I don't know if you can see all the birds in the sky, but it is getting dark. Not dark. The sun's getting closer to setting. Ooh, there's the guy. So they're out to feed again. So pretty out here. Again, I'm really pushing my zoom. I got some photographs, but that is two alligators eating off the same piece of meat. I can't tell what it was, but the larger alligator in the back is holding it, and the smaller alligator closest to us is like sneaking out and taking bites. And now they've both got bites on it and just holding it in their mouth. They were actively eating it until I got the camera out. Sorry, I'm trying to hold it steady, but I'm at 15 times zoom, so any tiny movement on my end moves it quite a bit on their end. One thing I did not notice before is that here are the two that are munching, and up a little bit further there's another big guy hanging out in the sun. This is so interesting. And now I don't know if it's my presence that made him stop chewing because I'm moving around and talking, and so they're just being still. It's something interesting to watch. I'm gonna stay silent here and see what happens. Well, I don't know if they're going to do anything more than this. They move every now and then. Still can't quite tell what they're chewing on. I've been shooting heavy burst mode on my camera the whole trip through here, so I've filled my memory cards. So I did get a couple of pictures of these guys, but that filled my cards. I think we're going to leave these guys to their meal. I'm glad I got to witness it. Again, that alligator up the creek here, he hasn't moved at all. So I'm not entirely certain his state of being, but they're not chewing on him. So maybe he's just chilling. Maybe he's a full. The little guy ripped his piece off, backed up, swallowed it, and it's just hanging out. The big guy's got his piece in his mouth. So I don't know if the little guy is going to go in for another bite or call that a win and slip back into the water, because it looks like that other guy can take him. This has been Adventures in the Savannah Wildlife Refuge. There, he's doing something. Yeah, he says, I'm going to get me another bite. That was good. Go back. Man, tiny bumps, and it's still flying at this range. But I'm sorry. Apparently, I still have to practice with this a good bit more. But there you have it. I think it's over. Quite a few birds here getting their evening meal, evening drink. There was a heron that just flew off. I think the majority of the birds here are ibises. Ibisi. I'm not positive. I need to get better at identifying wildlife that I enjoy watching and photographing. Well, that's the end of the road for this trip. Thank you for riding along with me through the Savannah Wildlife Refuge drive. It's something I enjoy doing, and especially when I want to take pictures or just relax. I was a little not upset, disappointed that I ran out of room on my cards. I have two cards in the camera at 128 gigs, but I was shooting electronic burst mode, which is, like I said, 50 frames per second. I spent a lot of time on the alligators and the bald eagles. I still had pictures from Save on there, and I'm shooting in both JPEG and RAW formats. So every time I take a burst of 50 photos, it saves 100 photos. So it makes sense they filled up fast. So I'll have to look into all that. I learned a lot about the gimbal. Still more I have to learn. Overall, I'm very impressed with it. I like it. I hope you enjoy it as well. Um, part of these videos, I enjoy making them, but I want to make sure that you enjoy them as well. So I'm always open to constructive criticism. My lovely sister tells me I say too much, and I'm working on that. Maybe I'll have to do a drinking game where every time I say we take a shot. Um, oop, there we go. It's just, maybe notes will help me overcome that. It is still a little nerve wracking talking to a camera all the time. It's something I think I just have to get used to. But I do enjoy this. I almost said it again. I'm going to edit the videos, edit the photos, splice them in, and put this on YouTube. And I will see you all again another day.